Hey, Evan from Midway Nissan here. This time doing a quick walk around of a 2023 Nissan Z Proto Spec. Starting from the front of the 2023 Nissan Z, completely redesigned for this model year. The vehicle now has a new engine, very heavily updated transmission, comes with completely different packaging from before. I'll go over a number of the standard features in the vehicle, this particular one being the Proto Spec. I'll then go over some of the Proto Spec unique features and some of the things that come in the mid-level, which is the performance model. So, coming as standard in all the new Nissan Z models, you do have LED headlights, daytime running lights, and indicators. The vehicles also do come standard with parking sensors in the front bumper. So as you're parking, it'll be able to beep as you approach anything in the front. There are two hidden into the grille there, which is also the gunmetallic color, along with two built into the front bumper. This vehicle does have an extended chin spoiler, like you see down below, as part of what is available in the performance spec and above. And the raised wheels on this vehicle, again, you can get the raised wheels in the normal performance model. The bronze color that this vehicle has is Proto Spec exclusive, along with the matching brake calipers to the body color paint. This is a two-tone option vehicle, so you do have the black A-pillars, mirrors, as well as roof, which fade nicely in with the katana on the vehicle. It does have the Z side badging, like the original 240Z models. Coming around to the rear of the vehicle, you'll be able to see it does again have LED indicators, and then it has a really cool 3D effect on the taillights, which I'll try to show later on in the video, along with these side markers down here. The vehicle does have a couple of interesting things that you may not notice up front at first. Built into the exhaust tips, you have these really small dots all the way around, along with built into the rear bumper, you do have a little bit of a cool diffuser style down below. The centerpiece here, much like the 300ZX models, is blacked out. In order to open up the trunk of the vehicle, you do push right underneath the Nissan emblem. That's where the button is. It then pops the hatch, and you do have your backup camera right next to it. Before we even open the hatch, there is a nice little Easter egg on the vehicles since 1969, which is the first year of the 240Z. Opening up the trunk here, you do have the extra chassis rigidity with the brace in the center of the vehicle. Along with that, there are actual tie-down points, much like our other vehicles. So in the case you had cargo you really wanted to hold in place, they make it very easy to do so, which on a vehicle like this is going to be very important. I'll go over more of the interior momentarily, but one other unique thing for the Proto Spec vehicles is that they all come with the genuine Nissan Accessories steel license plate frame. Kind of a neat little thing, not many people knew. The vehicle also does have a little tow hook down below. Sorry, not a tow hook, a child seat anchor point. So in the case you ever wanted to put a child seat in the passenger side, it is possible to do so. Coming on the performance spec and the Proto Spec, the vehicles do have the spoiler in the back, like I mentioned, not available in the sport model, which is the entry level. Vehicles do, of course, have your parking sensors back here. And then the way the diffuser comes out and sticks from the sides, again, that's something more oriented with the performance vehicles. Much like the other side, you do have the katana on the driver's side. You'll notice the door handles, if you're familiar with the 350Z models, are a little bit of a unique design where you pull them forward. The window then slides down because these are frameless doors with buttons to lock and unlock with key proximity built right into the door handle. I'm just going to flick on the headlights once again. That way we can take a look at the taillights and you can get an idea of the 3D design. It does show up quite differently in person, and you'll notice based on the angle I have it, I really hope it does show up. It almost changes the color profile on the camera here, but it is a very cool 3D effect. And again, very reminiscent of the 300ZX models of years past from the early 1990s, late 80s in Japan, all the way into the early 2000s in Japan. Underneath the hood of the new Nissan Z, you'll notice that it now has the VR30 engine. That is the twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that Nissan's had throughout various vehicles for a number of years. The Infiniti Q50 and Q60 Red Sport share a very similar powertrain to this vehicle with 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. You'll notice it's very, very tight in the engine bay. And again, this is a very heavily revised chassis from the older Nissan Z models. So in the case you were looking for parts compatibility, I would not be surprised to find out if many of the parts were very easily modifiable. You'll notice that the strut tower brace up front in the vehicle is actually adjustable from the factory, and it is quite wide as well, much wider than you found in the 370Z models. And you still have the front midship platform from years past, again, heavily modified. And you do have the aluminum hood, roof, as well as trunk of the vehicle. Again, gorgeous looking vehicles, even better when you see them in person. Coming around to the interior of the new Z, there are more Proto Spec exclusive features. You'll notice that the top of the window does slide down very little. That way when you open the door, it doesn't contact. It does have frameless doors. The vehicle does have nice suede inserts for many of the touch points of the new Nissan Z, along with the gunmetal gray door handles, window switches, and they are powered automatically, one touch up, one touch down. Vehicle does have power door locks and mirrors as well. And you'll notice again the yellow contrast stitching for this performance model. You can opt for blue contrast stitching or red contrast stitching with the red or blue inserts depending on the interior choice you choose. The vehicle does have automatic headlights with automatic high beams as well as fog lights, of course. I'll hop on inside. You'll notice as well, it does have your traction control button, easy to disable on the interior here. And I'm just going to close the door because we are in the showroom, a number of people around, that way it'll be a little bit easier to hear. I'll get the vehicle not fully started because I am in the showroom, but I will be able to at least give you a good idea. You'll see all the switches illuminate and you have your volume down or up buttons, as well as track next and previous for the stereo. This vehicle does come with Nissan's 12-inch TFT fully customizable display, which is fantastic. And then very, very cool, you do have the triple gauge pods up at the top with your turbo pressure, turbo RPM, which is really awesome, along with your battery voltage over there. The vehicle does have Nissan's very, very well-known at this point infotainment system. The vehicle does, of course, come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a very nice spot that's quite deep to put a cell phone. That way, when you're driving around in the vehicle, it's not going to slide all over the place. It does come with a USB Type-C and a USB Type-A port as well. The vehicle does have your S mode, which is going to be the auto rev matching for shifting. And again, this being a Proto Spec, you have the Proto Spec exclusive badging there. One day when these vehicles go up in value even more than they are already, these are going to be the very desirable ones from this generation, I assume. You do have the option for a 6-speed manual transmission like this is here, or a 9-speed automatic transmission. The 9-speed automatic does come with paddle shifters from the GTR. This one being a manual, with no need for paddle shifters. You have your gear shift right here. This vehicle does have all the performance options, which would include the heated front seats, as well as the powered front seats, and that is for moving forward, back, reclining, or inclining. Your lumbar control is still manual. Vehicle does have a hand-mounted parking brake, and then underneath here, you thought you had one, you actually have 2 cup holders. A little bit of extra space back here with a 12-volt port. Not sure how easy it is to show in here. Really tight interior in these vehicles, so I do apologize if it's kind of awkward with the camera work. You do also have your home link on the rear view mirror, so in the case you wanted to program your garage door, very easy to do so. And this is auto dimming, so in the case it were really bright with someone behind you, it would automatically dim. That way it'll adjust the light level for you. The vehicle does, of course, have interior lights with your SOS button right above. So in the case you were to ever get into an accident, the airbags were to deploy, Nissan would automatically call to the emergency services to your exact location, and you can push that button anytime for roadside assistance, as well as going over any sort of emergency situation. Vehicle does come equipped with adaptive cruise control. You'll notice the very cool Z emblem on the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is, again, completely redesigned. This has not been used in any of our other vehicles. Hope to see a similar design in some of our new vehicles in the coming years, because this is a really awesome design. Almost a flat bottom. It's more of like an oval shape, but I can imagine these would be very, very nice to drive. I'm very excited for when mine arrives. Vehicle, of course, does have metal pedals. You do have 3 pedals here, the best setup you can get. Push button start, of course. Single zone temperature control, where you can have your front and rear defrost, of course. Really nicely weighted buttons. It's something kind of hard to describe, but as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Always happy to help in any way that I can, and I have attached a brochure for the 2023 Nissan Z down below in the video's description. Till the next one, bye for now. Hope you stay safe.